The entertainment world thrives on gossip, rumors, and fleeting whispers that spread like wildfire. But nothing could have prepared fans, journalists, or even Hollywood insiders for the bombshell Sam Heughan dropped when he revealed the unthinkable. For the last 10 years, he had been involved in a secret romance with none other than his Outlander co-star, Caitríona Balfe. It was a confession so staggering, so earth-shattering, that the moment the words left his lips, the internet imploded. Sam's confession didn't come during a late-night talk show or through a publicist's carefully crafted statement. No, it came directly from him, at a panel event celebrating the 10th anniversary of Outlander. What should have been a joyous occasion, filled with nostalgia, laughter, and reflections on a decade of storytelling, turned into one of the most shocking moments in television history. The audience was packed with fans, cameras rolling from every angle. Sam, dressed simply in a crisp shirt and blazer, appeared both nervous and resolute. At first, his answers were the usual blend of charm and humor. He spoke about the highs and lows of portraying Jamie Fraser, about the family that had formed on set, and about his gratitude to the fans who had supported them through every season. But then, the moderator asked a question about chemistry, about the magnetic, undeniable bond between him and Caitríona, one that fans had speculated about since day one. Sam's smile faltered, he shifted in his seat, his jaw tightening. And then, after a long pause, he leaned into the microphone. "It's time I tell the truth," he said. The room went silent. The moderator blinked in confusion. Fans leaned forward in their seats. Sam took a deep breath, his eyes searching the crowd before finding Caitríona's, sitting just a few chairs away. "For 10 years, he said slowly, I've shared something with Caitríona that no one else knew. We weren't just acting. We weren't just friends. We've been in love. We've been together, in secret, all this time." Gasps filled the auditorium. People covered their mouths. The sound of cameras clicking became a frenzy. Caitríona's face froze, her eyes widening in shock as whispers erupted throughout the crowd. The idea that two of the most beloved co-stars in television had hidden a relationship for a decade seemed unbelievable. Yet, as Sam continued, the weight of his words painted a picture of both passion and pain. "We kept it secret," he explained, "because we had to. The show, the contracts, the pressure of the industry, it was impossible to be open. We told ourselves we were protecting something sacred by keeping it just between us. But it became harder and harder to hide." The reasons were layered. Public scrutiny. Every gesture, every word, every glance would have been magnified under the lens of tabloids hungry for scandal. Careers on the line. As leads in a global phenomenon, they carried the burden of maintaining professionalism, never letting personal matters overshadow their work. Personal commitments. Caitríona's real-life marriage, Sam's public relationships. Each layer added another wall to their hidden world. But through it all, the bond between them only grew stronger. Sam's voice trembled as he described what it was like to live under the weight of their secret. "There were nights we couldn't be together, not openly. Times when we'd smile for cameras at premieres, while inside, all we wanted was to reach for each other's hands. We lived for stolen moments, on set, in trailers, in quiet corners far from anyone's eyes. It was beautiful, but it was also painful." The audience sat in rapt silence, the atmosphere electric. Some were in tears, overwhelmed by the confession. Others shook their heads in disbelief, unable to reconcile the idea of Caitríona, who had built her own life outside the series, being part of such a carefully hidden affair. All eyes turned to Caitríona, who sat rigid in her chair. Her lips parted as if to speak, but no words came. The cameras caught the flicker of emotions on her face: shock, confusion, perhaps even anger. But then, in a moment that would be replayed endlessly in viral clips, she reached up and wiped a tear from her eye. It was all the confirmation the audience needed. In hindsight, the pieces seemed to fall into place. Fans remembered the way their gazes lingered too long during interviews, the laughter that felt too intimate, the kind of closeness that couldn't be scripted. There had been rumors for years, but both Sam and Caitríona had denied them, insisting their relationship was purely platonic. Now, Sam's confession reframed everything. Every photograph, every behind-the-scenes clip, every red carpet appearance suddenly seemed loaded with hidden meaning. Their smiles had not been just for show. They had been fragments of a love story the world was never supposed to see. What drove Sam to finally confess after 10 long years? His answer was simple yet heartbreaking. I couldn't keep it inside anymore. A love like this, it deserves to be acknowledged. Hiding it for so long has hurt us both. I've watched Caitríona stand by me in every storm, and I can't keep pretending. Even if it changes everything, even if it costs me everything, I need the world to know. The room erupted once more. Fans cried, journalists shouted questions, and the internet instantly lit up with headlines. The confession was no longer just a moment. It was a cultural earthquake. As the event concluded, chaos reigned. Bryn Whitfield, who had once been at the center of Sam's romantic life, was nowhere to be seen. Caitríona left without comment, her silence as deafening as Sam's words had been. But one thing was certain. The world would never look at Sam Heughan and Caitríona Balfe the same way again. Because after 10 years of whispers and denials, the truth was out. Sam Heughan's confession spread through Hollywood like wildfire. Within hours, the story dominated headlines across the globe. Outlander star's secret affair exposed. A decade of lies or a hidden love story. News anchors spoke in hushed, urgent tones. Entertainment magazines rushed to print special editions. Social media platforms crashed under the weight of hashtags. But beyond the frenzy, lives were unraveling. For many fans, the revelation was a dream come true. For years, they had speculated that Sam and Caitríona's chemistry on screen was too real, too intense to be mere acting. "We knew it," wrote one user on Twitter, garnering tens of thousands of likes. But others felt betrayed. "They lied to us for 10 years, a disappointed fan posted on Instagram. "They sold us an image while living a completely different reality. How can we trust them now?" The fandom fractured. Some celebrated the romance as fate finally revealed, while others accused Sam and Caitríona of manipulation, deception, and dishonesty. Caught in the middle of the storm was Bryn Whitfield. Once linked to Sam in high-profile headlines, she now faced whispers of being nothing more than a decoy in a carefully constructed cover-up. Sources close to Bryn revealed her devastation. "She feels humiliated," a friend disclosed. "She believed in Sam, believed in what they had. Now she wonders if it was ever real, or if she was simply used to protect his secret." The press hounded her for a statement. Was she blindsided? Did she know about Sam's hidden love? Bryn stayed silent, but her tear-streaked face, captured by paparazzi outside her apartment, spoke volumes. If Sam's words had shaken Hollywood, Caitríona's silence added fuel to the fire. She made no public statement, no post on social media, no denial or confirmation. But her every move was scrutinized. Her wedding ring, her body language, her absence from public events. Gossip blogs speculated that Caitríona had been living a double life, married on one hand, but secretly devoted to Sam on the other. Rumors swirled of late-night rendezvous, coded messages, and clandestine trips taken under the guise of work. Was she a victim of circumstance, or an accomplice in the deception? As the chaos unfolded, whispers began leaking from those who claimed to have been close to the pair. There were times on set when they would disappear for hours, one anonymous crew member confessed. "We all knew something was happening, but no one dared speak about it. They were too careful." Another source described emotional late-night phone calls. "Sam once told me he couldn't breathe without her. It wasn't an act, he was in love with her the whole time." The pieces, once scattered and speculative, began forming into a coherent picture. This wasn't just a fling or a fleeting crush. This was a love carefully hidden, nurtured in secrecy, and protected at all costs. Behind the headlines, Sam wrestled with the weight of his revelation. Friends described him as both liberated and tormented. He had finally spoken his truth, but at what cost? "He looks lighter," one close friend admitted. "But he also knows the damage he's caused. Careers, relationships, reputations, it's all on the line." Meanwhile, Caitríona bore the brunt of the backlash. Critics labeled her a betrayer, fans demanded explanations, and her family life came under attack. The pressure mounted with every passing day of silence.